one of the things I feel that helps me stand out amongst my generation, to a degree, is my ability to keep on learning from the younger generation. And I've come across a lot of people my age, 61, who are very, very set in their ways. And they are absolutely convinced of their righteousness in the world. And I don't think that's a helpful attitude. And it certainly hasn't helped me with my kids growing up. And I fell out with every single one of them. And I've noticed there's a lot of splits in attitude towards certain things. Now, when I was growing up, being gay in the army was a strict no-no. It was illegal under martial law. And certainly when I joined the police, it was very, very frowned on. And there were very few outwardly gay police officers. And I've discussed sexuality with my son Miles, and his attitude, very refreshing. It's just, well, I don't care. It's just not an issue for me what gender somebody is, what they choose to identify as, or who they choose to love. I don't care. And I will treat people with respect regardless. That's his attitude. It's a very commendable one. Now, I can, to a degree, relate to that. I like helping people. And over my years in both in the army and the police, I've met and been friends with quite a few people of varying places on the spectrum of sexual diversity. And I have always tried to understand their position, where they come from, and also understand how I see things within the world. Now, I'll put it out there, I do not care who somebody sleeps with. I do not care who they choose to love. To me, love is love, and you can take all those other words describing different orientations and they're irrelevant. If you love somebody and they love you back, then be together. I don't care. And what I will do is I will treat everybody with equal respect, no matter what background they come from or who they are. If I meet people, I will treat them with respect, unless they give me a reason not to, obviously. But that difference between me, one of the last of the boomers, and Miles is that I cannot change the way I feel about certain things inside. And I'll be honest, they talk about transphobic and it's used as, oh, transphobia is hate. And no, it's not in the literal term. Transphobia is a fear of something. And growing up in a very straight orientated society, it threw me when I came home one day and a man I knew as Alan was now Anne, and it's a friend of my parents, and my brothers and I had played with his children. So to me it was just he was a man, balding middle-aged man, and suddenly there's a man in a dress and shoes and a wig in the back garden, and it threw me. I'll be honest, totally honest, it absolutely freaked me out. And I've tried to explain this to Miles, how I just find it, I personally am uncomfortable around people who look like men but are dressed like women. And that's me. But I still respect totally their right to live their life the way they choose. That is unassailable. I will respect them. But inside, to me, it feels weird. To Miles, it doesn't. Now, we had amazing skies the other day, and just massive double rainbow. The weather was almost biblical. It was just amazing. But it started making me think of the conversations I'd had with Miles, trying to reconcile my own feelings and the huge diversity of genders and different sexualities. Now, when I was in the police, I had a lot of training on diversity and equality. And let me tell you, they at the time, they often just paid lip service to it. And people went through the training and were still just as homophobic and racist as ever when they let their guard down. That's the reality of society. Police officers come from society. Now, as Gen Z has come through, that is beginning to shift. But by and large, the police, when I joined it, was very homophobic and very racist. That's a fact. So I had all this training. I'm having these conversations with Miles about how I feel. He can't reconcile it. And then I saw the rainbow, started thinking more about the diversity of sexuality. And I looked it up the other day. And like, if you look up the true spectrum of LGBT QIA, it like goes on forever. There's so many different letters, subsections in that spectrum. And it's pretty much anybody who's not heteronormative. But what is heteronormative? Seriously. So it made me start thinking about myself. Now, I never felt comfortable in the company of male friends. And we're going out on the pool, and we're going to pull all these girls. So I thought, well, I don't want to approach people I don't know. And I'd feel uncomfortable doing that. And I can only get sexually comfortable in a relationship with somebody I know, somebody who I've built up a relationship with. And I was just looking at all these different things, and I suddenly realised actually under asexuality there's a subgroup called demisexuality, and that fits me to a T. There's actually quite a few people out there who are the same as I am. Now, if you'd asked me before, I would have said, yeah, I'm totally heteronormative. You know, I've been married 3 times. I've had a few girlfriends in between that. And thinking about it, every single relationship I've ever been in, the females made the first move, not me. Because I really, really struggle with doing that. And it's not anxiety. It's literally, I feel no particular sexual connection with them or feelings towards them unless I'm in a relationship with them. And you might feel that's a little odd, a little weird, but that is me. I do come under that demisexual banner. But also, it made me consider there's actually a lot of people out there who play to the crowd, who play to an ideal. So when they're talking about heteronormative, what the hell is that? I mean, there's literally some people who will say, you know, any hole's a goal. And if it's a hole, I'm going to fuck it. If it fits, I'm going to fuck it. And if it doesn't fit, don't worry, it will soon. A lot of that macho attitude out there, and I think there's a lot more people out there like me who actually don't feel that comfortable in that super macho environment, but still play the game of it. Anyway, whoever you are, be true to yourself. And if you don't understand yourself, it is an evolving journey. And, you know, it's finding out, and I think it's going to take me a lifetime to find out who I really am.